So, Sampath, now AI is being used for various purposes in various contexts, and we know that some of the developed countries are using AI to their fullest potential. Where are we as Sri Lanka in terms of adopting AI to our industries as well as into the government functioning, all those things? Where are we?
If I just kind of trying to fit into a framework, right? So the adoption of AI. I mean, people can give different terms or names for this, but the most known framework is basically the McKinsey. They published a paper saying that the adoption happens at 3 levels. So the first level is, they used to call them the takers. So the takers are the ones who basically off the shelf take the AI tools which is available. If you take any of your industry, you just have to say AI tools landscape, you'll find hundreds and thousands of tools being developed every day by each person. So the very first level is off the shelf. You take a tool, augment it, and start kind of using AI for your day-to-day operations. At the moment, we have seen a trend in organizations adopting it, including the government. So corporate sector, we conduct, even Sponge Global, our company is set up for that. We do this program called Beat and X. So most of the corporates, they want to upskill. You ask about talent transformation? Yeah. That's a new term. Actually, that talent transformation is that. Basically, the way that you are working now is not going to be there in the next couple of years or so. You need to completely change. So LinkedIn has put a report, minimum 30% of your job, any job is going to change. Maximum, obviously, 100%. That means completely the way that you do the job is going to change. So you need to adapt this. So we are doing these tools, Copilot trainings to ChatGPT trainings to prompt. You call it the prompt engineering and prompt. And a lot of companies are currently doing it, number one. Everybody is interested individually as well. Large companies have transformation teams already been, they have, transformation officers even. AI officers being appointed, so there are transformation teams. So they are currently looking at different business use cases. They know they can't survive or compete without adopting this. And they now itself starts, start having that team who will look at each use case and trying to prepare for it, right? Government, I would give praise to the government as well, because they have set it up, an AI task force. In fact, somebody I really respect, Dr. Romesh Ranavana, who's the chief, the data officer in Dialogue. He's the head of this task force as well, right? So that means the government is also start looking at how to basically adopt AI. So there is, I would say, we have not completely ignored it. There's a lot of buzz. A lot of people are trying to learn that one. So that's the taker part of it. Then the next part is what we call the shapers. That's where the technologists and the industry come in. Shapers means we take some of our stuff. For an example, we do some development. We have our data. So they will say 50% of the stuff in the sense the parts that we use for this solutioning is proprietary. Either the organization or even a country. Now these days people are talking about sovereign AI. Sovereign means each country is going to have their own AI. But we are using models created by OpenAIs to Microsoft to Apple to Google to the large language models and all that. We are piggybacking on them. We are using them, we are connecting them through APIs and try to use our own thing in order to do the transformation, right? Then comes the topmost level where we used to call the hyperscalers. Hyperscalers are the guys I spoke about, like the Googles and the guys who have the large scale data kind of thing. Now that operates at a very high capital intensive model at the moment. If you know, I'm sure a lot of here are not always technologists, but in order to train these models, you need to have GPUs, TPUs, right? Those are called like the processing power that you need, right? Those are very expensive. Most of their investment actually go for these kind of processing power that they require, right? So because of that, and you need extreme amount of data, right? as Hansa mentioned, trillions of data points are required in order for you to train the model, and the parameters also becomes in trillions, right? So to do this, you need to have at that top level, you need to have access to capital and all those stuff. It's almost like we are trying to fight to build a chip. It's very difficult, right? We are decades behind, right? US is, and China is the one who's fighting for these chips in the nano level, the chips. If we start doing it tomorrow, even India or any other large country start, they are a decade behind. We can start. So they are at that level. So in my view, I think adapting has started at that take a level much. Shape a level is also, we get to see a lot of companies, and we are doing that for the other countries as well, like the software companies, like the Virtusas and like the Nagaros and all those companies who are operating. They are at that shape a level. So I think that's where we are right now. So we are in a good place, and we can catch up if we kind of double down on our approach.
Right. Thank you. And Hansa, would you like to add something to that from your practice?
Yeah. So from bringing in positive side of it, so most of our IT companies are providing these services to these shapers and as well as the hyperscalers. So that is the better thing. And as from my team, we are basically providing services to Boeing, Siemens, Bosch. So those kind of, I know there is a cut down in the Bosch right now, but yeah, we still providing these major players on AI aspect, especially on the AI aspect on industry and industrial manufacturing. But there are other places as well, so like in the healthcare side as well. So we actually right now, we just completed a set of proof of concept on identifying heart arrhythmia that is going to come with the ECG. So our part is to do the anomaly detection aspect of it. So we have had 8 years worth of data to identify different 12 types of arrhythmia identification. Yeah, so on the positive side, Sri Lankan IT force is basically working towards it. I'm not saying it is just the IT force. So IT force consists of the business analysts, QA people, developers, engineers, business consultants. So it is combination of everyone, and then they are basically products of Sri Lanka.
Thank you. So there is a positive note. Positive note is our talent in IT and the related industries are absorbing these technologies much better. And they are also, I believe, in the time to come, we can see more shapers as well as sometimes hyperscalers also. But if we can reach the level of hyperscalers, that would be the best thing to happen to Sri Lanka. So with that note, now we know basically what AI and what different areas of AI is, as well as what's the research in the world currently, as well as what is our adoption in Sri Lanka.